The Galactic Council had warned the Cathara pack about humans. They were told these pale, soft-skinned bipeds were apex predators masquerading as social creatures. They were told humans bonded with anything that breathed. They were told to keep their distance. The Cathara, proud hunters of the Outer Rim, had laughed at such warnings. Now, standing in the cargo bay of the trading station Epsilon 7, pack leader Thrask understood why the warnings existed. It had started as a simple trade negotiation. The Cathara needed medical supplies. The human freighter captain, Reyna Sol, had them in abundance. The exchange should have been routine credits for cargo, a nod of respect between predator species, and departure. But Cub Vekri, barely past his third molt, had been curious. The young Cathara had wandered too close to the cargo containers, his 6 limbs carrying him with the clumsy enthusiasm of youth. His chitinous plating, still soft and developing, gleamed under the harsh station lights. Vekri had wanted to see the strange human technology up close, to understand these creatures his pack spoke of with such disdain. The container's automated defense system hadn't recognized him as friendly. The plasma discharge was designed to deter thieves, not kill. But for a cub with underdeveloped armor, the bolt of energy that struck Vekri's thorax was agony incarnate. His scream tore through the cargo bay, a high-pitched shriek that spoke of pain beyond comprehension, the kind of sound that turned parental instincts into weapons. The pack reacted instantly. Thrask and 5 other adult Cathara surged forward, their hunting instincts fully engaged. To them, the human stood nearest the wounded cub. The human's cargo had caused the injury. By Cathara law, the human was responsible. By Cathara justice, the human would pay in blood. They had not expected Reyna Sol to move. Humans, the galaxy knew, were endurance hunters. They were persistent, patient, and clever. What the galaxy often forgot was that humans were also protective, viciously, irrationally, overwhelmingly protective of the young, any young, even young that weren't their own species. Reyna Sol crossed the 15 meters between her position and Vekri's fallen form in 3 seconds. She didn't run. She exploded into motion, her body moving with the kind of speed that only came from pure adrenaline and absolute determination. The Cathara barely had time to register her movement before she was there, dropping to her knees beside the whimpering cub, her hands already reaching for the emergency medical kit at her belt. "Don't touch him," Thrask roared, his translator struggling to convey the fury in his clicking mandibles. Reyna Sol didn't even look up. Her fingers flew across the medical scanner, assessing damage, calculating treatment. Vekri's breathing was rapid and shallow. The burn had penetrated 2 layers of his developing carapace. Without immediate intervention, infection would set in. Among Cathara cubs, such infections were often fatal. "Back away from the cub, human," Thrask commanded, his hunting claws extending. Around him, the pack formed a semicircle, ready to strike. That was when Reyna Sol looked up. Her eyes, those strange, forward-facing predator eyes, locked onto Thrask's compound gaze. And she roared. It wasn't a word. It wasn't a threat in any language the translators could process. It was something primal, something that bypassed civilization and culture and reached straight into the oldest parts of the brain where survival instincts lived. It was the sound of a mother bear defending cubs, the sound of a wolf protecting its pack, the sound of a human telling the universe that this young creature, this injured child, was now under her protection, and anything that tried to harm it would have to go through her first. The pack went silent. Not from fear. Cathara did not fear. They went silent from shock, from the sudden realization that they were not facing a traitor or a rival. They were facing something their instincts recognized on a level deeper than thought. They were facing another parent. Reyna's hands never stopped moving. She applied coagulant gel to the wound, her touch gentle despite the fury radiating from her. She murmured soft, meaningless sounds, the kind of noises any creature made to comfort the frightened and hurt. "Your cub needs a dermal regenerator," she said, her voice still carrying that edge of barely controlled aggression. "The burn is deep. I have one in my ship's med bay, 5-minute round trip. You can watch him while I'm gone, or you can keep threatening me and watch him deteriorate. Choose." Thrask's hunting instincts warred with his parental instincts. The former told him this human was a threat, an outsider interfering with pack business. The latter told him that this human was trying to save Vekri. Why? He clicked, confusion bleeding into his voice. He is not your species. Not your pack. Reyna's soul finally looked away from Vekri, meeting Thrask's gaze again. This time, there was no roar. Just exhaustion, and something that might have been pity. He's a kid, she said simply. That's all that matters. She stood slowly, carefully positioning herself between Vekri and the pack. I'm going to my ship. I'll be back in 5 minutes. If any of you move toward him before I return, if anything happens to him while I'm gone, I will personally file a grievance with the Galactic Council that will have your trading licenses revoked for the next 50 cycles. And then I'll come back here and finish what your own stupidity started. The threat should have been laughable. One human against a pack of apex predators. But Thrask believed her. 4 minutes later, Reyna returned with the regenerator. She worked in silence, her movements efficient and practiced. The Cathara watched, torn between instinct and incomprehension. By the time she finished, Vekri's breathing had steadied. The cub's pain receptors had calmed. He would live. He'll need rest and protein supplements for the next week while the new carapace hardens, Reyna said, standing and wiping her hands. She looked at Thrask. Keep him away from unfamiliar tech until he's old enough to understand warning labels. Thrask stared at her. You endangered yourself for a cub not of your kind. I protected a kid who got hurt, Reyna corrected. She turned to leave, then paused. That's what humans do. You might want to update your intelligence files. As her footsteps echoed away across the cargo bay, Vekri stirred. His small voice, still weak, clicked softly in Cathara child speak. Was that a human? Thrask looked down at his nephew, then back at the departing figure of Reyna Sol. Yes, he said quietly. The pack leader human? Thrask considered this. By Cathara standards, Reyna Sol had done exactly what a pack leader should do. She had protected a cub, regardless of personal cost or political consequence. She had roared louder than the threat. She had made the danger submit. Yes, Thrask said again, this time with certainty. Later, when the Galactic Council asked why the Cathara had suddenly reversed their position on human integration into the Outer Rim territories, Thrask's report was simple. They protect cubs, all cubs, we understand now. The Council found the explanation insufficient and requested elaboration. Thrask's response was even simpler. You wouldn't understand. You've never heard a human roar.